much better. Hey, well, good afternoon. It's afternoon where I live. If you're in Australia, it's probably evening or morning. I don't know. Do you guys, I wonder if anyone could tell me, just looking at the body of this, what it actually is. Quite often, occasion, I'm greeted with an instrument of this magnitude. Now, I realize it's just a bass, right? It's just a bass. But this one happens to be, yep, you are reading that correctly. This is a 5-string version of a Pedula R. To be able to work on an instrument of this magnitude is something that I am very proud of, that people have the confidence in me to bring an instrument like this into my shop and turn me loose with it. You know, as you can see, I set it down on top of razor blades and things like that because, you know, it's a guitar and it's going to get beat up, but not here at my shop. Just kind of laid it out to give it a good once over. I am going to string it up with Ernie Ball, regular slinky, 45 to 130 on the low B. Check all the electronics, do the typical setup thing on this. If you do a YouTube search, see how many YouTube repair setup videos you see that include somebody working on a Pedula. You'll find mine, I'm pretty certain, because the man that owns this bass owns another one, and it's green and it's beautiful, and he's trusted me to set it up correctly. These are some of the finest built instruments on the planet. Yep, I'm gonna cut it open. Alright, peace, y'all. Well, I want to introduce y'all to one of my favorite tools. I even named him. Meet Jack. Jack the Gripper. Now Jack here, I'm going to show you what he's all about, because it's a tool. You got to have the right tool for the job. Now, you've all worked on one of these. I know everybody has, you know, 1,000 times. You put this in here. Let's just say you can't get this output, this nut off of here. Well, boom. Jack goes in there, gets a hold of the inside of that thing right there. That's an output jack. They're not input jacks on a guitar. They only... Alright, so upon my initial inspection on the Pedula bass, I discovered that the volume controls, tone controls, the pickup selector, blending knob, they all had a little bit of noise in them. So I've gotten in behind here, and I'm using this specific contact cleaner slash lubricant. All of these basses have a large box that contains some circuitry in there for the operation of the electronics and working the way they're supposed to from Pedula. So if you've never seen the inside guts of a Pedula bass, here they are. Volume, pickup, blend, bass, and treble are the controls. I don't know what's going on in here. It works. Everything works great in this. This instrument is ultimately in to have the string action lowered. He wants ultra low string action. It's a 5-string, so I'm going to get to that just to make sure, though, that the work that I did on the electronics is good. We're going to plug her in because, you know, we have the technology. So we're going to check the electronics. All right, so the volume's all the way up. Pickup selector switch. That pickup, this pickup, ultimately single coils with them both engaged. We've got pretty well quiet amp. Bass control works great, nice and clean. There was a little glitchy this morning, and the treble control, nice and quiet. All right, so I am polishing frets on the Pedula. Gotten the first, I don't know, 8, 9 frets polished up, and I'll continue to work my way down and get them all nice and shiny. We'll take a picture of that, show you what they look like. Let's do a flyby real quick. What they look like now, prior to polishing them all. And then these ones up here have already been polished. Kind of get an idea of the difference. So the fretwork on these Pedula bases is so amazing. The materials that are used for the frets is so incredibly strong. Boy howdy, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Gotten the electronics all cleaned up and clean as a whistle. Thing sounds amazing. And we have treated the fingerboard and cleaned the fingerboard with linseed oil and polished the old frets. It's time for some new strings. Look at those frets. You can see my ugly mug in those things. Okay, so we have the top-loading Fender style machine heads on this, the old school bad boys. The way I do this is I will pull the string till it's fairly taut, pull it up 2 machine heads, 1, 2, and I go to the back side of the machine head. We're talking about 1/4, maybe 3/8 of an inch extra length, and cut it off. Okay, run the string down through the center hole first and wrap the string around the machine head. This string is so brutally strong, and me being a little guy, I can't really wind that thing all the way around there, so I'll do this the old-fashioned way. I said and again. I say that way too much. Way too much. By the way, I think Ali Bata played this bass at some point in his life, and I hope that I get 1,000 subscribers because I said that. Boom. That's how you do a string with these old style. Old school, new school, one of the greatest machine heads designs of all time. Well, take a gander at this truss rod. It's been abused by others. The corners are all nubbed off of it. Well, Pedula bases are built with this type of truss rod wrench. It's not like they would use a nut or something like all other manufacturers. They've got to do something different. And a square drive. Well, here's the wrench, and it is broken. I mean, I literally broke a wrench for a Pedula base. That kind of sucks. So we'll figure it out. Well, I broke the truss rod wrench. We'll just forget I did that. I did fail to push record and capture other footage of the basic setup that I did on the instrument after getting the correct truss rod wrench. I contacted the owner. He owns 2 Pedula bases and brought the wrench from the other one, which was made out of stainless steel versus hot metal. And I'll show you also that this was my attempt to repair this wrench, at least so I could turn the truss rod on that guitar, or on that bass. I'm sorry, it's a bass. I took a 10 gauge guitar string and wrapped it around this as tight as I could wrap it, and I had my coworker hit it with some super glue, and we tried that to no avail. The interior of that is rounded out. The edges of the truss rod were rounded off, but the wrench that he had worked to turn it, and so I was able to adjust it and get it set up for him. So what follows is him playing his bass, and I'm really grateful. Thank you, Don, for coming in. Thank you for your patronage of my business and your faith in me to do a good job for you. And dude, you're one hell of a bass player. Hang in there. Here's Don playing the Pedula.